So, dear friends, in the last class, we had a discussion on the yamas. We also looked at the fruits of the yamas. We also discussed about the vitarka badhas, the obstacles uh, in following those yamas. And then we understood that pratipaksha bhavana, is a technique of reflecting and contemplating on what kind of anant dukha and ajnana phala, the pain and ignorance breakage of this yama is going to cause me. One important thing here to understand is that the aspects of vitarka badha, the breakage, the tendencies which break these yamas, these discussions come after the discussions of niyama. It doesn't come immediately after yamas. It means that when Patanjali says vitarka badha, Patanjali is not only talking about badha that is against the yamas, he is also talking about the badhas that are against the niyamas. Hmm? So you remember in the class before this, we did some small rating from 0 to 10 and tried to understand which is the weakest uh, yama, that is easiest for us to break. That is the tendency that we have been carrying from our previous lives also. And fundamentally, we understood that lobha, moha, and krodha, these are the three emotional distresses, emotional uncontrolled vegas, which lead to this vitarka badha. Now, can we also rate ourselves for the niyamas? Okay. So the 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 rating that you have to do is from 0 to 10. Okay. Understand that these niyamas are also at the level of manasa, vacha, and karman. They are also at the level of the thinking, at the level of the speech, and at the level of action. Fine. So you have to rate yourself. How strong do you feel that this niyama is held in your life? How strongly? So if you give 10, it means it has been held with 100% strength. It means it is sarvabhauma. It means it is at all desha, kala, jati, you have been able to follow this niyama. Okay? If you are giving 10, it means you are like Yudhishthir. You are the Satya, like that Harishchandra, you will be in that range. So that they are the benchmarks for you to rate yourself. Raja Harishchandra, Bhishma Pitama, Karna. Please put them as the benchmark and rate yourself. So number one is Shaucha. It starts from whether you take bath every day, from the physical level, the kind of food that you eat, how hygienic that is, kind of clothes that you wear every day. Do you wear everyday wash clothes? The room that you live in, how tidy the place is, and then comes down to whether you actually are aware of how much ashuddha the chitta is, how much raga, dveshas they are there, and what do you do to remove the impurity of that chitta regularly? What do you do to remove the impurities of the body? Do you regularly do any kriyas? Do you regularly do detox at the bodily level, at the breath level, at the mind level? So, rate yourself for antarbahya shuddhi. How you think, how much shaucha is there at your body, in your speech, and in your chitta, and in your surrounding. Overall, 0 to 10, rate yourself. Okay? Fine? Everybody rated for shaucha? Fine. Number 2, santosha. Santosha, in a simple way, you have to understand Santosha means absence of desires. You are satisfied with what you have. Desirelessness. Just able to be without any kind of thirst. Trupta sthiti. I am not thirsty. I am in complete state of satiety. No desire is equal to 100% santosha. Rate yourself. I am also rating. Tapaha, austerity. So actually, do you have a dedicated time for your yoga practice? Do you do self-practice? Number one. Number two, do you fast? Do you sacrifice in terms of your dietary things? And whether it is jati, desha, kala restricted or beyond. So then say some people do not eat non-veg on some day, some people do. All those are tapa. Then sacrifices that you make for the sake of your duty. Say, for example, if you are a student and you feel very drowsy, but you get up and come into a class, that is tapa. In the same way, you do not like something, but you do it for others. Whenever you overcome your raga and dvesha for the sake of another, for the sake of duty, for the sake of your dharma, that is tapa. How much do you do it? Rate yourself from 0 to 10. Swadhyaya, regular study of scriptures, which are based on truth and that encourage self-reflection. That kind of, not by compulsion that you have to attend the class, yourself, your own study, your own contemplation on what you have studied, and your effort to apply that in your behavior. First thinking about it, talking about it, and then applying that in your action. 0 to 10. How much value do you give yourself for swadhyaya? Okay. Then comes Ishwar Pranidhanani. Ishwar Pranidhan is whatever that you do, you are able to surrender it to some higher principle in your life, or you are doing it for the sake of something higher. You have something higher as an objective, and all the actions that you do, if they are directed towards that, all the bhavas. So how you have to rate for Ishwar Pranidhan? 5 marks. You have to keep it for whether all the action that you do, whether it is being done for something higher, how much % of your action are done for a higher purpose, which is selfless. That is 5 marks. Other 5 marks is how much you are able to detach yourself from the world. Okay, so there are 2 ways Ishwar Pranidhana is assessed. One is that ananya chintan hona chahiye. Except for that God or deity or higher principle that you have, you do not have any other target. There is no other objective for your actions. If you do it for yourself, for your family, for your name, fame, or people you love, that will not come under Ishwar Pranidhana. So 5 marks is how much is directed towards it, and other 5 marks is how much you are away from the world. You understood? So in this way, you rate yourself for Ishwar Pranidhan. Everybody rated? Huh? Kar diya rate? Okay. So it is out of 50. Make a total. Total कीजिए. Fine. सौम्या कितने मार्क है? Very good. Very good. I appreciate. Very honest. बताओ आदिति. 23. 23. बोलो मैडम. 28. 22. Very good, yaar. Huh? 30. What is your name? Good, yaar. 60%. Huh? Abhinay. Huh? 28. Very good, yaar. Clap for her. Very good. Very good. No, I value honesty because till you do not reflect honestly on yourself. बताइए सर.
46.9.
आपके तो पैर छूने पड़ेंगे भाई आकर के हमको यार.
Somewhere I
46.98. हमारे युग के अवतार रहेंगे या फिर डिल्यूजन में है?
सही.
बताइए. 17. क्लैप फॉर मैडम यार. 32. 29. 25. 25. Huh? So 50%. Hardly passing. This is where we stand. Now, another thing that you have to do here is identify your lowest score. Which contributed to your lowest score? And which contributed to your highest score? Okay. So, for me, Santosha contributed to the lowest score. And Ishwar Pranidhan and Swadhyaya had his equal score. Okay.
Santosha is the lowest, and Swadhyaya and Shocha are equal.
एक मिनट. पराग सर के क्या स्कोर है? 30. ओके पराग जी, आप बताइए आपके लोवेस्ट और हाईएस्ट कौन है? पराग सर.
Sir, self-reflection, Swadhyaya, I think, is the toughest for me.
And lowest?
Because is the toughest. Lowest is Swadhyaya. Because knowing oneself is the most difficult for me, I think.
No. Do you study Gita or Patanjali Yoga?
Yes, that I have a library. I've been studying for last almost 30 years. So that is there.
Every day?
Almost every day. Almost every day. That is the study is there, but internal self-assessment, my own observing myself is, as I go deeper, it is becoming more difficult and difficult. So that is one toughest thing. And Ishwar Pranidhanani is another thing which is next in tough. So,
And which is the highest for you?
highest, I think, Santosh can be, Santosh and Tappa are equal, not very. So
Oh.
that's why I am still here in this class. I think that is there.
Super. Okay, Parag ji, because it carries a lot of applications. Fine. Madam, क्या बोला आपने?
Santosha is the lowest, and Shocha and Swadhyaya are equal.
They are the highest. Shaucha and Swadhyaya.
So Santosha is the lowest, Shocha is the highest. Santosha lowest, Tapa highest.
Very good.
Same, Santosha lowest, Tapa highest. Shocha highest. Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana
Lowest.
Santosha is the lowest, Shocha and Tapa highest, like equal.
Again?
Santosha lowest, Shocha and Tapa
Highest. Yes, madam.
Santosha, Swadhyaya lowest.
High.
Ishwar Sharnagat, Ishwar Pranidhan, highest. Shaucha lowest.
Madam. Highest. Yes. All equal. Shaucha, Santosha, Tapas. Oh. So you would obviously understand the application. Your highest score is the path of yoga you have to choose. Tapa. People have to go for Raj Yoga. Ishwar Pranidhana people have to go for Bhakti Yoga. Swadhyaya people have to go for Jnana Yoga. Because why that is highest? That is my genetic makeup. From where is my genetic makeup coming? It is coming from my past efforts in past janmas. So there has been an inertia within me from many, many lives. Bhagavad Gita mein Krishna says, Anek janma samsiddha tato yati param gatim. That people from janmas, they have been evolving. And you in your evolution have reached a state where you have accumulated that much tendency to do tapas. So there is no way that you should, undo all that. Similarly, people who say about santosha, shaucha, they are karma yogis. So karma yogi manages the aspects of santosha and shaucha. Tapa goes with Raja Yoga. Swadhyaya goes with Jnana Yoga. Ishwar Pranidhan goes with Bhakti Yoga. Shaucha can also go with Raja Yoga because Kriyas and cleansing is a type of a tapa also. So Shaucha goes with both actually. Actually, Shaucha is something that we can understand is it comes by all the four. Everything will cause Chitta Shuddhi. So Shaucha contributes to all of them. So it is not specific. But Santosha for Karma Yoga. Tapa, Raj Yoga. So how many Raj Yogis here? Raise your hand. Raj Yogis. So you already have accumulated these tendencies. Now, the way you will evolve is by refining and advancing your techniques to the next level. So whatever techniques that you have to be very careful in choosing what techniques you are choosing. And you have to keep on upgrading them. Like in your laptop, no? Every year you have to upgrade, install new software. Like that, you have to keep on evolving your techniques and be very vigilant about what you do, how much time you give, and enhance the quality of the practices that you do by being more mindful, more present. And Shaucha will have a, a kind of a accelerating that particular path, whichever path you follow. If you observe Shaucha with it, it will accelerate. So, how many Jnana Yogis here? Jnana Yogis are less. They are usually less because, yeah, so it should become, very intense. Like do not forget to eat. In the same way, the food for the soul comes from scriptures for you. So no matter what, you should not sleep in the night without reading 5 shlokas from Bhagavad Gita, without reading some shlokas from any Upanishad or few shlokas from Patanjali Yoga Sutra. These scriptural touch, isolating oneself and contemplating on that, deeper questions, is something that nourishes you. It is the way that you cope in your life whenever you are indecisive and confused. Always take shelter of the scriptures. For Jnana Yogis, in general also. What I have been following is whenever I can't take any decision, I just pray to Krishna and randomly open a page of Bhagavad Gita. Just read it. Few shlokas before, few shlokas after, and somewhere it connects, because anyway, everything is interconnected. So it has never failed me giving a proper insight on what I have to do. Okay. So in this way, a Swadhyayi has to take it very seriously, very seriously. They can go you without eating, because body, it is okay if it doesn't get food, but the food for the soul should never be missed. Then when it comes to a person who is karma yogi, like Parag sir is a karma yogi, for him Santosha comes very naturally. So for such a person, it is very, very important that he reads texts like which are mainly karma dominant, like Bhagavad Gita, the from second chapter 30th shloka till the end of fourth chapter. That aspect goes with karma, karma sannyasa, and all those aspects. Naishkarmya siddhi. So, Parag sir, there is something known as Naishkarmya siddhi. This has been described in Bhagavad Gita. I think that should be your objective. You should be like Raja Janak.
Sir.
वो आप अपने राजा जनक को अपना रोल मॉडल बनाइए और अष्टावक्र गीता भी पढ़िए. So I have seen Santosha, if somebody has natural tendency to, there is no other bigger text than giving you that infinite bliss of Santosha than Ashtavakra Gita. So अष्टावक्र गीता आपने कभी देखा है पराग सर?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो
Since
में जो जनक और अष्टावक्र का जो संवाद है, I think you he is completely into this. He says that by being bitten by a snake of sense of doership, you have fallen down from your state. Just rest in yourself. So this Santosha Sukham Anuttama Labha, Patanjali also says. There is no greater source of happiness by being in a state of Santosha in this life. So for such people, it is very important to, do the activities without looking at the fruit. So karma phalatyaga. And holding on to the duties, that is the major strength. And Krishna says that by following this aspect of karma yoga, which he calls as buddhi yoga, it is a very secret knowledge which I gave in the beginning to Surya, the sun. Then sun told it to Ikshvaku. And then from Ikshvaku, this generation to generation, it was going, but then in between it was lost. But then it was again reignited by Janaka and others. And now, again it was lost, and again I am reviving it for you. This is what he says in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. It is considered as a secret knowledge. Guhyatam. So, this aspect of how my mundane daily activity can become a tool for my evolution. So these are the aspect of Santosha in action. And then the aspect of Ishwar Pranidhan. In 18th chapter, after summarizing everything, Krishna tells, see, Arjuna approaches Krishna by saying, Shishyate aham. I am your Shishya. I am confused. What is dharma? What is adharma? I am not able to understand. Shishyate aham. Please guide me. I am your disciple. After the whole Bhagavad Gita, this happens in the second chapter. After the whole Bhagavad Gita, in 18th chapter, Krishna says, Priyosi. He does not say that you are my student. He says, you are my beloved, you are my friend. So Arjuna wanted a disciple kind of a relationship. But Krishna extended the relationship of friendship. So here, when you say Ishwar Pranidhan, it means that all my emotions will not move anywhere. It will only move towards you. On my emotions, you will only have the adhipatyas. My emotions are not for anybody else. Other things, money, everything you give, but emotion, bhava. Bhakti is about bhava. No other, no others. So, after telling everything, he tells Arjuna, now, because you are my Priya, Priyasi, and friend, I will tell you now, Sarva Guhyatam, the most secret of all the secret. Hmm? In Karma Yoga chapter, he says Guhyatam, secret. At the end, 18.616263, 61, 62, 63. What is this Sarva Guhyatam? He says, Tameva Sharanam Gacha, Sarva Bhavena Bharat. From all the bhavas, your emotions you gather and only direct them towards me. By doing that, all the difficulties that you will face in your life, you will overcome. Tat Tameva Sharanam Gacha, Sarva Bhavena Bharata, Tat Prasadat Param Shantim, Sthanam Prapsyasi Shashvatam. So, this Mrityu Samsara that is there, you will easily cross it by just following one thing. Ananya Chinta. Ananya means nobody else for the emotions. So, bhakti is the path of emotion, where the boss, the target for each and every emotion that comes is one. If your emotions are divided, here little, no, bhakti yoga is not possible. One single point. It says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshema vahamyaham. See, such guarantees nobody gives. He says, Yogakshema vahamyaham. I will do what? Yoga and kshema for you. Yoga means giving you the objects, the things that you do not have. Kshema means protecting what you have. All our stresses are whether I will get what I want. And other stresses is whether I will be able to preserve what I have. Both. LIC has this tagline, Yoga Kshema Vahamyam. LIC says, I will take care of you. Like that, Krishna is giving a LIC guarantee here. Yoga Kshema Vahamyaham. But Ananyas Chintayanto Ma. But I will not tolerate that you are dividing it. You have to give completely to me. He is little greedy in that sense. He wants that bhava completely. Half-hearted doesn't work in bhakti. But he takes full guarantee that. Ananyas Chintayanto. Tesham aham samuddharta. Mrityu samsara sagara. Bhavami nachirat partha. Mai aveshita chetasam. In your chitta, it should be only colored by me and my consciousness. I can't tolerate anything else. Mai aveshita chetasam. Tesham aham samuddharta. Mrityu samsara sagara. This vast ocean of suffering, Mrityu samsara sagaram, I will take you through. Bhavami and quickly also. I am not slow. I am very fast. This is the fastest path. This is like jet plane. If Karma Yoga and all are, you are going by train, or Bhakti Yoga is jet. So, it is bhava, one point. Little bit here and there, Bhakti. Full. Tvameva mata, cha pita tvame. Tvameva bandhu, sakha tvame. Tvameva vidya, dravinam tvame. Tvameva sarvam, mama dev. No other relationship. Father, mother, friend, brother, sister, wealth, health, everything. Sarva bhavein. This, when you bow down with sarva bhava, ananya, without a break, 24/7, then you are taken care. Don't worry. You have done it. Nothing else to do. This is Bhakti Yoga. क्या भाई रंजीत कुमार, भक्ति योग में IAS मार्क दिए, ऐसा चल रहा है क्या तुम्हारा? ईश्वर प्रणिधान में कितने मार्क दिए तुमने? 9 मार्क दिए खुद को, 10 out of 10, ऐसा चल रहा है तुम्हारा? नहीं भैया, अब आपने,
Whatever I am doing for the sake of
ऐसा नहीं चलता है भैया।
whatever I am doing, I'm
देखो 10 out of 10 दे दोगे तो कहाँ ग्रो करोगे यार लाइफ में? कभी भी खुद को 10 मार्क नहीं देना किसी भी चीज में लाइफ में, ये बात याद रखना। हमेशा स्टूडेंट बनते रहना। ओके, सो so it is very beautiful when Patanjali chooses 5 Niyamas. See how deep he is. His full human psyche, it is covered. Okay, so then what happens? What happens when one establishes oneself in these Niyamas? Shauchat swang jugupsa parair samsargaha. By external cleanliness, body, food, clothes, home, kriyas, etc. When they are established, when one that becomes one's nature, then there comes aversion. So jugupsa means aversion towards one's own body, and paraira samsargaha, and also by the aversion to touch or get a touch from others' body. You would have felt it, no? Whenever you take a nice shower, nice bath, you don't want to touch anything. You don't want anybody to touch you also. That natural aversion comes. You want to sit within yourself, and one gets prepared for transcending the body consciousness. So, if you feel, very irritated, dejected, one of the very easier way to calm yourself down and relax is to take a shower. How many of you take shower 2 times a day? Oh, you take in the evening also? Very good. So it is a very good habit. Because whatever...
I take, sir.
How many times you take, madam?
2 times, sir.
Very good, very good. Sure. So before going to bed, or evening when you do any kind of sadhana, it is always a good practice to take a shower once again. You will see the quality of your sadhana becomes very different. So the pranic structure also gets smooth balance, and whenever you want to take a shower, you should try to take it in the way nature wants you to take. So nature always gave us a flowing water. Either there were fountains or flowing river. So flowing water has a different kind of purificatory property. So rather than a bucket, it is always better to stand below a shower and allow the water to fall on the head and go completely down. In this way, if the water flows, then it has a balancing effect on the prana in reducing the excessive prana that accumulates in the head region. And also, you see that this aspect of Shaucha works better here. In fact, this simple thing can protect one against depression and all negative emotions. So this is the application of Shaucha, clinical application of Shaucha. You should advise these things to all people who have mental health disorders. Take shower 2 times a day under a flowing water, because there is the purification of the chitta is health. All mental disorders are malas of the chitta. Imagine the chitta like a white cloth. Your mind is like a white cloth, and you have been getting stains on that white cloth, dust on that white cloth by daily stressors, attachment, aversion, jealousy, pain, suffering, anger. It gets oily stains, dust, everything on that cloth. Can you all just imagine your mind like a cloth like that? And see how clean it is. So if you see such cloth lying in your kitchen, what do? You immediately put it, no? You want to just... So अभी इतना बाहर का आपको इतना लगता है तो who told throw it? If you have an option of having another cloth, here the same cloth has to be used. So जो आप, what you would do with a cloth like this in your kitchen, this cloth, how careful you should be. Avoid the stains. Clean it every day. Give it for a washing machine. Put nice stain cleaner. Strong. What is the strongest stain cleaner? Sarva bhavena. This prayer, strongest. In minutes, the cloth is clean. Wholehearted surrender and prayer. So you have to wash your clothes every day. अगर सच में शौच जिनको लगता है कि शौच होना चाहिए, तो फिर ऐसा मन का ऐसा कपड़ा दिखाओ कि जो ऐसा लगे वाह, टाइड हो तो क्या बात है. टाइड की सफेदी आपके चित्त में होनी चाहिए. सो शौचा, स्वांग जुगुप्सा, परेर संसर्गः. Now he says internal purification. Sattva shuddhihi. What will happen if you have a pristine cloth as your chitta? What will happen? It will have its own manifestations, behavioral manifestations. You will be naturally cheerful. Now, what does a depressed person want? Cheerfulness only, no? He wants saumanasya. Sattva shuddhi saumanasya. Depression goes away. Then comes concentration. Cognition enhancement also you need. Cognition enhancement. Cheerfulness means uplifting of the mood. Mood becomes better. Cognition enhances. And you also reduce your impulsive behaviors. So addiction also. So impulsivity comes down, hyperactivity comes down, ADHD reduces, cognition enhances, and cheerfulness. Mood gets uplifted by sattva shuddhi, internal purification. So you have to find your own tide. Your tide may be tapa, your tide may be japa, your tide may be kriya, your tide may be karma yoga, your tide may be Ishwar Pranidhana. Whatever is your strength, refine. Because stains are deep, you have to upgrade your stain cleaner now. Your stain cleaner is very mild and stains are quite deep. So therefore, even if you think that you are washing, it is not clean. The amount of stains that you get every day and the intensity with which you clean, there is a big mismatch. So you have to match it. It requires daily cleansing. Otherwise, if you leave all cleansing efforts, live life as it comes, then you will lose three things. Cheerfulness of mood will be gone. You will be always irritable. Your cognition will slowly go down. And you will become more and more impulsive. Your senses will drive you mad. And it will be sadness, suffering, depression, suicide. So all mental disorders are like that. They are malas on the chitta. Every day before you sleep, just observe your chitta. Which stain what is going on. Make sure you sleep after cleaning it to the best ability that you can. Whenever you are washing clothes from now on, no, this should remind you of this. What about this cloth? And it is a pristine white cloth. It is very sensitive. So chitta. Santoshad anuttama sukhlabha. Santosha means becoming desireless. The infinite happiness that this gives is unmatched by any other happiness in the world. Now, just imagine, just for this moment, you tell yourself, I want nothing. Just for this moment. Later on, we'll take it back. But just for this moment, I don't want anything to be taken care. Leave. Everything is okay. As I am now, I am satisfied. I want nothing in this world. Immediately, instantly, you see the sukha labha coming. The gain of happiness falling upon you. So, this is the best happiness of all according to Patanjali. Why Santosha brings happiness? It makes you still. Then your Atma Swabha or your Swarupa is able to reflect instantaneously. And your Swarupa is Ananda. So Anandamaya Kosha is there, right there in the core. But there is so much turmoil in Manomaya Kosha that it is not able to reflect. Santosha brings a stillness. So the Anandamaya Kosha reflects. With tapas, what happens? Kaya, Indriya, Siddhi, Ashuddhikshaya, tapasaha. Another way of cleansing your system is by doing tapas. Deliberately do things which are against your ragas and dveshas. This is tapas. Generate that heat within you. I know I don't like it, but I will do it. I know I like it, but I will not do it. I know I don't like it, but I will do it. I know I like it very much, but I will not do it. Going against the tides of your raga and dvesha again and again, by then churning them. And then, like you keep hitting against a force, slowly it becomes blunt and breaks. These hard stones of raga and dvesha slowly are shattered away. So this is known as tapas. तपस का अर्थ ये है कि आप अपने राग और द्वेष को पहचानो और जानबूझ करके वो काम करो जो आपका मन बहुत स्ट्रांगली बोल रहा है कि मैं नहीं करना चाहता, उसको करो. Our Guruji Neswasa was like that. He is like that. So whichever thing you say, Guruji, I can't do this, then he said, okay, now only you will do this, nobody else will do this. As soon as you tell him, no, Guruji, I can't do this, okay, come, sit. Now you do, you sit beside me and do it. I will sit here with you. He gives moral support, makes you do it. So this is tapas. But it should be done for the sake of some higher purpose. It should not be done for a lower purpose. If you do tapas for a lower purpose, it backfires. When higher purpose it is done, then you get that inner strength. Otherwise, if a person doesn't have any higher purpose also and he keeps going against his raga and dveshas also, he will develop mental illness. So you require that strength in the background, that moral support from background, that why I am doing it is because I have this is my swadharma, or this is how I see it. There should be a value system behind it. If there is no value system and you are just playing with it, it will backfire. So I am going against my own tendencies, but my ultimate objective is universal well-being, some higher principle in life, or for God, or for what is written in Bhagavad Gita. उसके लिए जबरदस्ती खुद के टेंडेंसीज के अगेंस्ट में जाने से उसको तपस कहा जाता है, बिकॉज इट जनरेट्स हीट इन यू. Tapas means heat. Heat happens when two things which are opposite have a friction. Friction से ही heat आता है ना. How does heat come? Heat always comes by friction. So because Raj Yogis are very high in determination, they say, okay, we follow the path of heat. So they are in constant war within themselves. That is how they. So Krishna says, Mam anusmara yudhyacha. Remember me and fight. So in this way, this is the path of tapas. And what does it do? If you keep on doing that, it leads to siddhi at the level of the body and siddhi at the level of your indriyas. Siddhis start coming to people by doing tapas. Tapas is not simply just taking out 1 hour and doing your yoga. It is a war within you throughout the day. So Sant Tukaram used to say, day and night we are in war within ourselves. So when this siddhi comes at the level of the body and siddhi at the level of the indriyas, I just thought that it would be interesting to look at it from the 3rd chapter perspective also, where Patanjali says that samyama, is a special samyama is a special technique of moving the consciousness, awareness towards certain objects from the core of one's being, and reflecting that object or that thing in one's own being. So here he says that by doing samyama on the relationship between akasha and the body, between akasha and the body, kaya akashayoho sambandha, and or becoming one with light objects such as cotton wool traveling through the space is possible. Akash gamanam. Now, what is the sambandha between kaya and akasha? Body and space. What is the relationship? What is this samyama Patanjali is talking about?
The Sanyama is the implementation of Dharana Dhyan Samadhi altogether.
That we know. Kaya and akasha. क्या संबंध, क्या संयम?
The chakra place of space.
So maybe acknowledging that most of the body is actually air, is empty space basically. Acknowledging the hollowness and emptiness in the body.
I think this is good. So if you are able to appreciate that body is in space. Space is not only around the body. Body is in space like a 3D movie is projected. Like fish in the water. Within and around, everywhere there is space. So if a character is projected on the screen, like I am there sitting there, right? So there in that screen, what is my substance? You can see my image, but if you touch me, what will you touch? Screen. Like that, in this space also, in my essence, actually in my substance, I am space only. I am projected on space in a 3-dimension. So if you split it, the sthul sharira to sukshma sharira, you will see that atoms, what are there? Ultimately atoms. And inside an atom, now we know that quantum physics also says that inside an atom, 90% is empty space. Only 10% is nucleus and electron, which is, we don't know whether it exists or not. It is wave or it is particle. But otherwise, 90% of an atom is empty space. So by that way, this body 90% is empty space. Within and around. By doing samyama on this relationship of body and space, one becomes aware of sukshma sharira first. And then there comes that ability to make the body very light and fly. So there are yogis, Mahavatar Baba and all, no? In Autobiography of a Yogi, they were able to, they say that I am hidden behind the sun rays and I travel. Mahavatar Babaji has said that. Hidden behind sun rays. So why I am saying you this is because we are discussing about Kaya Siddhi. At what level the Siddhis can happen on the body. Another aspect that Patanjali brings in the same chapter is Bahir Kalpita Vrittir Mahavideha Tataha Prakash Avarana Kshaya. A vritti of the chitta. It is also in the beginning, it is imagination only, that 90% of the body is space. But this imagination also brings a sense of lightness, right? Immediately when you imagine that my body is projected in a 3D space, you feel light in the body. Correct? So this imagination is known as kalpita, bahir kalpita vritti. That I am not only within the body, I am space. Okay? When it becomes established in your consciousness and you are not at all aware of your body, now you consider yourself as space only. I am space, I am not body. If it has become concretized in your psyche, then it is bahir kalpita vritti. And that state is known as mahavide. If you are able to meditate like that, there have been meditator like I think Don Gion, who used to prescribe this meditation. Sit on the top of a mountain, look at vast sky, infinite, unending sky, and just keep on meditating that you are one with sky. That sky is within you, around you, everywhere. It is only sky, you don't exist. And he would ask people to do this practice from the morning sunrise to sunset, till you can watch the sky. Months together. And he has done a lot of such experimentations. And people get concretized in that cognition. And there comes this Prakash Avarana Kshaya. The Ajnana, Avidya, which was covering the Ritambhara Pradnya, that is removed. There is dawn of knowledge by doing this kind of meditation. So, Bahir Kalpita Vrittir Mahavideha. So, what it does, it allows the light to come forth. So, that shine which happens in the chitta then also starts radiating through the body. When that happens, Roop lavanyam bal vajra samhanan tatvani kaya sampat. What is the wealth that is acquired at the level of the body? Body becomes beautiful, complexion glows. So best, you can put this as best cream that you can apply, huh? For bringing a glow onto your skin. Just meditate that you are beyond body. It brings a glow, which is unmatched. Glow in your eyes, glow on your skin. It just makes the person beautiful. Even a person who is not beautiful does this meditation, starts appearing beautiful. Rupam comes up. He looks like that only, but yeah, suddenly itna attractive lagne laga. Ye kya ho gaya isko? His face has not changed, but he has become attractive, become beautiful. I've seen people, when they started getting into meditations, they became more beautiful. Rupam, lavanyam. And not only that, strength. Krishna, they say Krishna's body was soft like a flower, as if you are touching rose petals. But when he would want to fight, it would become hard like a diamond. Nothing could pierce it. So our body should be like that. When not required, it should be soft like flower. When in need, it should become hard like Vraj. Time. So this comes by this meditation. Tato dvandva anabhighataha. Dualities do not affect such a body. It becomes like Vajra, it becomes strong. At the same time, it remains beautiful, soft, and glowing. All of us want skin, body like this only. So even if not for Kaivalya, for complexion and beauty like this, you can practice this meditation. I think this is more motivating than Kaivalya. Okay? So going beyond body consciousness brings physical beauty. Swadhyayad Ishta Devata Samprayogaha. So when you do Swadhyaya, you study scriptures, you do self-reflection, there comes communion with one's chosen deity. How is it? How can Swadhyaya? Communion means actually you can interact. Samprayoga. You can communicate with the deities. Ishta Devata. Ishta Devata is something which one has natural liking towards a Devata. Now in Vedic language, Devata represents an energy system that also, represents certain kind of value system. So there is energy, there are certain values which that is the core of the personality of that Deva. For example, sun, represents punctuality, teja, fire, panchamahabhuta. So in that way, there are different Devas. By doing Swadhyaya, by contemplating on that Devata, by focusing on the characteristic of that Devata, what may Krishna be thinking? If Krishna was at my place, what would he do? If Devi was at my place in this situation, how would she deal with this? So, Swadhyayad. In this way, contemplating on not only starting from the physical, now Ram Lalas, they did Sthapna in Ayodhya. So Tulsidas has described the eyes of Rama. They are like beautiful lotus. So like that, each part of the body. So there is contemplation. Then from the physical aspect of it, it goes on the kind of remarkable feast that the God has done, the strength that he has shown, that attracts. In the superficial state, the Swadhyaya goes towards the external structure of the deity, then it goes towards the valor of the deity. Then, as the Swadhyaya grows, as you keep on reading the scripture, you read this and then you want to, okay, you are impressed by Yoga Sutras, but then I myself developed this very intense desire to meet Patanjali. After reading this sutra again and again, if God gives me one boon, I would say I want to meet Patanjali. I want to see how he walks, how he sits, how he would talk. So by Swadhyaya, whichever Swadhyaya that you are doing, it is written by whichever deity, you get into the core of the personality of that deity. And when you reach the core of the personality of your deity, you start becoming one with that deity. It means that you become that. If I am 24/7 in sutra, I will meet Patanjali in the sense that I will become Patanjali. Ishtadevata Sampradaya. People become Krishnamaya. People become Rama. Because their Swadhyaya is only on that. This is the meaning of this sutra. Samadhi Siddhi Ishwar Pranidhana. By doing asana, pranayama, yama, niyama, pratyahar, dharana and dhyana, you have done your efforts. But after that, when you have to get into the state of samadhi, perfection in samadhi comes by surrender in that last moment. Whatever effort that you have done also should be surrendered. For a Raj Yogi, the perfection in samadhi, he gets into samadhi, but he's not able to retain it for long, or is not able to feel that something somewhere is lacking in my samadhi. That aspect gets fulfilled after he touches the aspect of bhakti yoga. Ultimately, you will see that whether he's a Raj Yogi or a Karma Yogi or a Jnana Yogi, the final path is bhakti. And bhakti is the most difficult to get. Bhakti doesn't come directly. If you want bhakti, then it is the most durlabham of all the siddhis. If you want it, the best way for you is, whatever is your strength, keep growing in that. Bhakti will come. If you are a karma yogi, keep on doing more and more karma, because bhakti requires the purest of chittas. Other paths of yoga can work in an impure chitta also, but bhakti will not work, never will work. So if you find bhakti difficult, a chitta needs tremendous amount of purity. That's why these are easier. Santosha, karma yoga, reading scripture, doing tapas. Because the prerequisite is not chitta shuddhi. But for bhakti, chitta has to be very pure. Then only by just listening to the name of that deity, tears will roll down your eyes. Therefore, people draw this mountain, no? All paths lead to same goal. I don't draw like that. I make three paths: karma, jnana, and raja. Then I make one path, bhakti. Then the top of the mountain. Because Patanjali also says, samadhi siddhi. After a level, only bhakti will take you. That naturally comes. Big scientists, Einstein, they ultimately bow down. Say, okay, so this creation, we just have to bow down. They start with jnana, but then ultimately they bow down. Okay, so this is the beauty of Niyamas. So let us end the session by bowing down to the sage Patanjali. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarottam pravaram munina Patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.